Welcome back to Newsarama's live coverage of New York Comic Con 2012. I'm Lucas Siegel, and I am here today with Ron Marz, with Israel Idonije, and Anthony Adams, here to talk about athletic comics. So, I gotta ask you right away, man, what made you want to get into comics?
Well, I grew up as a comic, kid, and reading comic books is just an opportunity to experience this exciting, world. And then 2007 in training camp, Bears camp, at the hard time of year, I decided rather than just football, sleeping, and eating, I wanted to do something creative and take a shot at bringing the world of sport and comic together, and this project was born.
Now, of course, you're not the first Chicago Bear, not even the first current Chicago Bear defensive player to get into comics recently. Did Lance Briggs give you any tips or anything on helping you out here?
Lance and I have spoken a little bit about his project and kind of what he's doing in his journey. I mean, he's a great friend, and we share a love for comics along with Nick Roach, another one of our teammates, and it's been a lot of fun.
Ron, how did you get involved? How did this happen? All of a sudden you get a phone call from the Bears? And
I thought they wanted me to try out.
Right.
I got to return some punts.
We needed some new offensive linemen.
So we were brought together by a mutual friend, and the relationship just clicked. I mean, I saw what he wanted to do. I wanted to, my job here is to bring his story to life and bring my experience in, putting that kind of stuff together. To make a project that isn't, oh look, it's a sports guy doing a comic, because I think everybody has a kind of a jaundiced view of that kind of thing. I know you're going to say NFL Super Pro. So we want, yes, sports is an aspect of this comic, but we want that to be as realistic and believable as the superhero kind of stuff. Which sounds weird, but that's how comics come out. Like when you do comics and sports, generally they suck because it doesn't look right, it doesn't read right. It's less believable than two guys flying, beating the crap out of each other.
Right.
So our goal in this is to make the superhero stuff real and believable, exciting, just like the sports aspects of it.
So, athletic comics, and the first book is called The Protectors.
Yes.
How involved were you in the initial development of the book?
Well, the whole concept is kind of was my creation, and it was just, I threw everything in that I could think of in the bucket, and then the team, Ron and everybody involved said, this works, this doesn't, let's tweak this a little bit, this is a little too complex, let's focus it a little more, and just kind of crafted an incredible story, a complex universe that we're going to grow and develop, and just something that's going to be really exciting for the sports fanatic and, for those that love comics.
And Anthony was pitching you a character right before we went live here,
Right.
So you're going to start bringing in some of your pals?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, my character is a little, it's not complex. It's based on a fat man, which that I portray, to the T. And it's about, I don't know if you guys can get a shot of the rock hard abs right here. See, I got a 4-pack right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to worry about these two. But it's mainly about a fat man with abs that he gets powers from food that he eats, and he protects food, so it's a different kind of protector.
Have you been researching this for a while?
I don't have to research it. I'm pretty much an expert on being fat. So.
There you go. You got your first pitch.
It's going to be exciting.
So tell us a little bit about Protectors and how it's integrating sports into this superhero world.
Well, for me, I think first it's the origin story of athletes, where sports comes from. So it's really about the story first, and the aspect of the athletes kind of just folds into that. These athletes were actually destined for something greater to save the world from a great evil force, and they didn't.
Named Aaron Rodgers.
Right. They wear green and yellow, right? Right. And just throughout the story, they discover that they were really destined for more, and throughout that, the sports will be there, but the real core of it is the story and the message.
Very cool.
The sports, it's a sports story in as much as, Superman's a story about a journalist.
Okay.
You know, it's the seed from which everything is going to grow, and you know, it's a cool aspect, and I think it's, like I said, it hasn't been done well in comics maybe ever. But you know, if
the
somebody
NFL Super Pro fans are crying now.
well, you can go look in a quarter bin right out there right now and find a bunch of copies. You know, it's going to have stuff for a sports fan who knows nothing about comics to get into, and it's going to have stuff for a comics fan who knows nothing about sports, of which I think there are probably a lot. So that where those brush up against each other in the Venn diagram, I think we're going to get people who maybe didn't know a lot about the other camp, hopefully bringing them together.
Very cool. And Ron, you are, of course, working all over the place right now. You've got Artifacts still ongoing, correct?
Ongoing.
And what's it been like taking that away from the event and into the ongoing story of the new reborn Top Cow universe?
It gives me a chance to play with all the different characters. I mean, I wrote Witchblade for 7 years, and so you're very much integrated into that character's life. It's almost like having a member of the family, you know.
Right.
You deal with that almost every week for 7 years. You get close to the character, and now it's more like it's more like this potpourri where I'm dealing with a different character every couple of issues, every story arc. So it's kind of cool for me to be able to jump back and forth and come up with different combinations of characters to tell different kinds of stories.
And you're just about to wrap up Prophecy for Dynamite, which brought a lot of their licensed characters together for the first time.
Yeah, if I can figure out how that last issue ends, I'll be doing all right. But yeah, it's Red Sonja and Vampirella, Dracula, and I don't think the 4th issue is out yet, so we can't tell you who the surprise character in the 4th issue is yet.
Okay.
But as
Follows fails, you can just have Dracula, bring together a bunch of mystical items and restart the universe.
I tried that. We've been down that road. Yeah, that's been fun. I mean, they handed me this group of characters, and I initially said, well, they don't work together at all. Well, what do you want me to do here?
Yeah.
And, we worked through it, and I think we came up with stuff that, there's actually a reason for Sherlock Holmes and Red Sonja to be on the same page together.
Very cool. Izzy, I gotta ask, man, is this something bigger? Are you looking already beyond Protectors, or do you want to launch that first and then see where it can grow from there?
Yeah, it's definitely a bigger plan behind it. We have the Protectors. We're going to get that up rolling, put the plan together, start execution, and just roll that out. And then we have a second story that's extremely inspiring and exciting that we're going to follow up with in due time. So we'll just take it. There's really no template. We're going to have fun with it. I think ultimately that's what it's about, bringing great people together, doing a project that we all love and enjoy, having fun while we're doing it, and hopefully entertaining a lot of people on the way and just doing some good out of it as well.
What kind of books are you enjoying reading right now?
Well, I just...
What are you, Lance, and Nick passing around?
Right. Well, since, the last con we went to, I've picked up a bunch of artifacts, so I'm diving deep into that wild world. But it's been awesome, just getting to know Ron and then just reading a bunch of his stuff.
And just seeing Cedric's art and
man.
Drooling.
Right.
Very cool, man. Anthony, what brings you here? Are you just here to hang out with Izzy, or are you a big comic book fan yourself?
Yeah, I am. I like, Superman, Spider-Man, and Batman. My son, he thinks he's Spider-Man, so he's webbing me all the time in the house. So. But, I'm here
like
supporting.
the little silly string canister?
Yeah, and I have to play along with it, like, oh, you got me, and, he webs me all the time and stuff like that. So, I'm just here supporting Izzy and Ron, and I think it's a great concept because as professional athletes, we think we're superheroes anyway. So I guarantee you, if you go to every 32 teams, if you go to each one of their locker rooms, I guarantee you one of them is wearing a Superman shirt up under their pads. Superman shirt, Captain America, Batman. I guarantee you somebody.
Just ask Cam Newton, right?
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
Every time. I gotta, as a huge Bears fan, gotta finish it up here. How's the season going, and how do you think it's gonna go? I mean, we're at 4-1.
Yes,
Feeling good?
Yeah, feeling good.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, we're excited. It's the bye comes at a perfect time, allowing everybody to just kind of heal up and get ready for this little run we're about to go on. It's one game at a time, and no game is easy. But with the way we're playing now, defense is playing at a high level. The offense, continuing to gel, come together. Special teams, continuing to dominate field position. We're really feeling good about where we are, and we have a great core group of leadership with Coach Smith, Rod Marinelli, Coach Tice. I mean,
we're real protectors.
The real. So we're feeling really good.
Happy to have the real refs back.
Oh man!
Speaking of real protectors,
exactly. That's true. That was wild.
Yeah. With the Chicago Bears. And with the defense doing so well, obviously the classic Bears defense is the monsters of the Midway.
Right.
Are you guys embracing that name, or are you guys going to try to come up with a little something new for yourselves? Maybe
Actually,
more superhero?
No, we're all about the monsters of the Midway. I mean, before every game, it's the defense we meet. Coach puts up the monsters of the Midway. He shows clips of the original monsters and highlights of what they did. I mean, it's about a legacy that they started, and we represent that. So every week he talks about playing at that high level and representing what the monsters, what that name stands for, and that's what we try to go out every Sunday and do.
Very cool. When are we going to see Athletic Comics start launching?
It's early 2013, hopefully March, April, we'll have everything ready to go. We're going to do a web tees that everybody can pick up and enjoy.
Very cool.
And we're just gonna go from there.
And then we're gonna run this as a monthly series or as just a graphic novel, right? All at once.
We're still discussing
that out.
Well, the beauty of this situation is we're not tied into a format. We're not tied into anything. This is the beautifully creative part of the process, and he's just open to anything.
Yeah.
So
because I'm the rookie in this world, so a lot of. Listen to a lot of the great things and advice that Ron brings to the table, and that's what we'll do. We like Ron said, we're not really bound by any constraints or rules, so we can just create this and then unveil it as best, what's suited for the best situation.
Very cool. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us here at the booth and at Newsarama and New York Comic Con. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for much more from New York Comic Con 2012. Bear down.